Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish series stars. Settle in, because today we're diving into the one story you've been whispering about, debating in comment sections, and replaying in your heads every time a new photo or interview drops. We're talking about the true status of Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel. Are the rumors real? Are the cautious smiles hiding something deeper? Or is the truth simpler, quieter, and far more mature than the whirlwind around them suggests? If you're new here and you live for updates from the world of entertainment, show business, and the personal journeys of your favorite stars, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you never miss what's next. We've got fresh stories for you every week. Let's start where this fascination began. For a long time, fans have watched Barış and Yağmur orbit the same circles, their paths crossing on sets, at festivals, during brand events, and even in late-night studio visits where the lighting was low and the conversations sounded like they were meant to stay between friends. The chemistry, at least to the audience's eye, was unmistakable. It reminded people of that timeless on-screen magnetism we all know from the series Messenger, the kind of chemistry that made everyone say, "Who didn't fall for Yağmur and Mira?" The looks, the pauses, the tension you can't script, those moments seeded a dream among fans that real life might echo what they love to see in fiction, even if Barış and Yağmur were never playing those particular roles. The vibe was there. The longing for something more was there. But life off-camera follows rules that are messier than any episode arc. That's why, over the years, the story of Barış and Yağmur has felt like a roller coaster with no clear map. One week there were whispers that they were inseparable. The next, headlines swore they were only colleagues, loyal and supportive, but nothing more. Then came the twist, rumors that other people were in the mix, that their lives were evolving in different directions. The Turkish press, as expected, pulled out the magnifying glass. Every shared glance on a red carpet, every interview callback, each beat dropped on social media, a like here, a subtle caption there, became a clue. Fans tried to assemble the puzzle. Some pieces fit, some didn't, and yet the picture kept forming. If we are honest, there were stretches of time when it felt like confirmation was seconds away. They were spotted at the same locations moments apart, in frames with mutual friends, on trips that felt too synchronized to be coincidence. No official statements, of course, but the images seemed to hum with a meaning that words only complicate. Stories sprouted of secret dinners, quiet escapes by the coast, and long car rides after rehearsals where only those two would know what was said. There was an ease between them at public events too. The eyebrow lifts, the sideways smiles, the glimpses of recognition that tell you two people understand each other. And there were the careful phrases during press stops, "We care about each other very much, we're good friends," which sounded true, but maybe not complete. For fans, that was enough to keep hope alive. Part of the allure, of course, is Barış's reputation for being intensely private. He keeps his inner world guarded, the way some people clasp their hands in a quiet room. So any hint of something personal is priceless, immediately amplified. Yağmur, on the other hand, has a brightness that draws cameras in, a composure that mixes with a playful side. She can give you a glimpse without giving everything away. Put those temperaments together, and you get a dynamic that is gentle in public and potentially powerful in private. Then the tide changed, or at least, the noise around them subsided. Maybe the attention became too heavy. Maybe the projects were too consuming. Maybe they set personal boundaries and stuck to them. Or maybe the truth was simply that adult lives are complex, and what grows in the shadows needs time to decide whether it wants daylight. New rumors emerged about distance, schedules, negotiation, choices that were wise but not romantic. Fans felt that ache you get when you're rooting for something that refuses to crystallize. It happens. Even with chemistry, even with history, timing is a stubborn gatekeeper. Which brings us to now, the moment that reignited everything. A new round of reports claims the truth is about to be addressed head-on. Does that mean a grand reveal and a formal "yes, we are together"? Or does it mean that those careful phrases, respect, mutual admiration, are the whole story after all? The expectation is electric. And as always, what we can do is sift through what's surfaced and examine the patterns that keep repeating. The latest talk says that Barış and Yağmur have quietly made a decision to stop living under the shadow of what-ifs and let the world see what is. According to sources who have watched their orbit and to magazines that track the rhythm of celebrity life, the two have spent real time strengthening a bond away from cameras. There are murmurs that they've reached the stage where privacy and honesty can coexist, that they're ready to share their happiness without letting it be consumed. And that tiny phrase, future plans, has been the spark raining down on a very dry field of curiosity. But what does a truth reveal look like in their world? We know how this game can go. Sometimes it's a clean, joint statement, a direct sentence, a photo, a touch that says more than a caption ever could. Sometimes it's a magazine exclusive, a measured interview that answers questions without feeding fires. Other times it arrives as a sequence of quiet signs, the same venue, a hand on a shoulder, a weekend that lines up just a little too neatly for the devoted to decode. Details are still shallow waters. That's why speculation keeps swimming. If you rewind the tape, their dynamic has always had that unmistakable spark. Even when they weren't working side by side, their public gestures seemed to carry a private language. When one faced harsh criticism, the other would find a way to praise the craft, defend the work, push attention toward what mattered. Social media support appeared like a gentle nudge, a story shared at the right hour, a congratulatory note timed between headlines. That consistency is why fans have stayed invested. When two people inspire you, you want to believe the best for them, and maybe even that the best includes each other. So here's the big question, are we finally on the verge of an official confirmation? The freshest whispers suggest that the answer is yes, that they are not just content but genuinely happy, basking in a rhythm that feels right. The suggestion is that they have done the hardest parts already. Learning to ignore the frenzy, scheduling life with care, trusting that a relationship can be real and protected at the same time. If that's true, then this isn't just a headline, it's a milestone for them and for the audience that's followed every chapter. Still, we have to acknowledge that celebrity truth is flexible. Sometimes clarity is a strategy, a way to redirect the spotlight, to calm speculation, to keep the focus on work when a personal story threatens to swallow everything. Popularity has currents, and stars learn how to swim in them. But if Barış and Yağmur are choosing to step forward, not to feed a myth, but to honor a reality, then we're seeing something rare. A moment that belongs to them first, and to the public only after it's been claimed and defined. Let's explore what a confirmation would change. For one, it could fortify their personal lives, laying a foundation steady enough to hold the weight of intense schedules and ambitious goals. It would also reset the conversation with their supporters, fewer riddles, more honesty, and a connection with fans that feels more like trust than intrigue. And yes, for so many who believe that on-screen romance can echo truths off-screen, the confirmation would feel like proof that the emotion people sense in a scene sometimes draws on something real. The anticipation is everywhere? On timelines, on fan pages, even among peers who know how difficult it is to sustain anything under the blaze of constant attention. Will it be a glossy cover story, perhaps even at Turkey, where Yağmur's recent appearance already sparked its own wave of discussion, or a synchronized entrance at a major event? The press is buzzing with talk of family dinners and meetings out of town, of rings tried on for size and wedding plans murmured in kitchens late at night. Sensational? Absolutely. Reliable? Only as reliable as rumors ever are. Until there's a clear voice from them, everything else is fog. It matters to remember that Barış, by nature, does not open the door to his private rooms easily. He has built a career on craft and discipline, and he protects the space where those qualities grow. That's part of why any admission, any small reveal, feels momentous. Meanwhile, Yağmur manages a graceful balance. Engaging, warm, visibly supportive of the people around her, yet always leaving a discreet boundary intact. Together, that combination turns any joint step into a deliberate one. If they choose to speak, it will be because they're ready, not because a headline pushed them to it. With all this in mind, the most likely version of the truth isn't a spectacle at all. It's a confident nod to a relationship that's been allowed to breathe without audience participation. We've seen other couples in this industry choose the same path: let love grow in the quiet, then share it once it can withstand the noise. It's steady. It's sane. And honestly, it's admirable. So where does that leave us now? It feels like Barış and Yağmur are at a threshold, the kind where one more small step changes the view. The chatter points to a confirmation, maybe even one that hints at long-term plans, more serious than some expected, more grounded than the tabloids would ever paint. Until they say it outright, anticipation will keep building, and every new sighting will be read like a clue in a mystery novel. To recap, we've traced the arc of this story, the first sparks that reminded fans of legendary pairings like Yağmur and Mira, the seasons of rumor and retreat, the careful gestures that kept hope alive, and now the rising drumroll that promises something definitive. We've weighed the possibilities of what a reveal might look like and what it could mean for them, for their work, and for everyone who has championed this connection from day one. The only piece missing is the clear voice from the two people at the center of it all, and if the signals we've seen are real, that voice may be closer than ever. We hope this conversation gave you a richer way to read the signs and enjoy the ride without losing sight of what matters most: their happiness, whatever shape it takes. Now it's your turn. Do you think Barış Baktaş and Yağmur Yüksel are ready to go public? Do you believe the hints point to a deeper commitment, maybe even a date circled on a calendar somewhere? Tell us what you think in the comments. We love seeing your theories, your memories of favorite moments, and the way you catch details the rest of us miss. Before you go, if you liked spending this time with us, give the video a like to let the algorithm know you're part of this story. Share it with the friends who will immediately text you back asking for links and screenshots. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and turn on that bell so you stay in the loop here at Turkish Series Stars. Thank you for watching, thank you for caring, and we'll meet again in the next video. Maybe with the confirmation we've all been waiting for, or maybe with the next chapter of a love story that insists on writing itself in its own time.